Hi, I'm Ramsey, and I will be speaking on Palestine. Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. Martin Luther King, Jr. Did the Zionists have the legal or moral right to invade Arab Palestine, uproot its Arab citizens from their homes, and seize all Arab property for themselves just based on the religious claim that their forefathers lived there thousands of years ago? Only 1,000 years ago, the Moors lived in Spain. Would this give the Moors of today the legal and moral right to invade the Iberian Peninsula, drive out its Spanish citizens, and then set up a new Moroccan nation where Spain used to be, as the European Zionists have done to our Arab brothers and sisters in Palestine? No. In short, the Zionist argument to justify Israel's present occupation of Arab Palestine has no intelligent or legal basis in history, not even in their own religion. Malcolm X, aka Al-Hajj Malik al-Shabazz, September 17, 1964. I think that the U.S. has a special relationship with Israel, that it's both strategic and historical and cultural. Israel is a long-standing democracy, a powerful ally to the United States. There are a lot of connections between us that go back a long way, and I think that our willingness to ensure their survival is always going to be a central aspect of our Middle East policy. President Barack Obama. President Obama has earned his following through promising change throughout our policies. Healthcare, civil liberties, and warfare were to be drastically changed for the better. He has yet to prove himself trustworthy on any of these issues. On one issue, however, he is constantly pressured by the public into doing just the opposite. Late last month, he was in Tampa, Florida. He was asked about the United States' double standard on fighting injustice when it comes to Israel. The president could have demonstrated to be more than a man of hollow promises of change, but he didn't.
What do you say?
My question is, last night in your State of the Union address, you spoke of America's support for human rights. Then why have we not condemned Israel and Egypt's human rights violations against the occupied Palestinian people, and yet we continue to support financially with billions of dollars coming from our tax dollars?
Israel is one of our strongest allies. It is a vibrant democracy. It shares links with us in all sorts of ways. It is critical for us, and I will never waver from ensuring Israel's security and helping them secure themselves in what is a very hostile region. As a first step, the Palestinians have to unequivocally renounce violence and recognize Israel.
He merely recycled old misconceptions and lies about the conflict, and on top of that, he claimed that the only way to reach peace is for the Palestinians to renounce violence and to recognize the state of Israel, whereas Israel did not have to do the same for the Palestinians. He said that we must listen to the concerns of the Palestinians to help them reach better lives, not because they are human, but because not doing so endangers Israel and the United States. We need to seriously ask ourselves as a country why we completely ignore the plight of the Palestinians and why we continue to financially support the biggest war criminal on earth since Nazi Germany. Some will say that the conflict is in a gray area and that there is no clear right or wrong side. Well, you show me someone who perpetuates this inadvertent propaganda, and I'll show you someone who doesn't know very much on the subject. When one knows beyond the propaganda in the mainstream media, the morality becomes as black and white as the keffiyeh around my neck. There are also those who will equate the soldier who kills a young boy's family and destroys his home to that same boy when he grows up and dies as a martyr fighting against his occupiers. Not only is this a moral imbalance, but it is a legal one as well. Under international law, it is legal to fight against foreign occupier through the means of violence. Many who are on the left and in the anti-war movement do not understand this, and they will sometimes sympathize with Israel. To support even in the least an apartheid regime is to be against human rights. When there is an oppressed people, they will fight back by any means necessary, and if that means taking up arms, then that is what they need to do. And anyone whose support of resistance is wavering because of this fact cannot claim to be a true believer in justice. When an oppressor goes beyond that which is unjust, when an oppressor goes beyond massacre, when an oppressor redefines the meaning of oppression itself, when that state who every day slaughters innocents and drives families out of their homes onto the street can not only claim to be the victim, but make the world believe it to be truth, there is no moral two-way street. As humanitarians, we must support the true victim undyingly until they get justice. We saw demonstrations all throughout the world during the massacre of Gaza over a year ago. We saw a glimmer of hope, a spark in a dark cave of an end to the oppression, but we were soon shut down. The collective apathy of our fellow Americans was dumbfounding. It's hard to imagine why, when seeing photos and videos of homes destroyed and children being slaughtered, people wouldn't be instantly affected and be compelled to fight against the clear injustice. For those who feel unaffected by foreign problems should not be able to do so in good conscience, especially Americans. Our core values boil down to freedom, justice, and liberty. How can we expect to live in a free world when even the Palestinians, the most oppressed people on earth, do not have freedom? How can we claim to be a just society when we give $2.76 billion a year to support injustice? And when such basic civil and human liberties are trampled upon, how can we even begin to talk about American liberty? Until there are reparations for the Palestinian people, recognition of the genocide committed by Israel, and until there is one state with equal rights for all, where all of the Palestinian refugees can return, where the red, black, and green colors of the Palestinian flag fly high, and with Jerusalem at its capital, there will be no justice. And until we see justice, there will be no peace. Free Palestine! Long live Palestine! Long live the Intifada!
Allah!